Guys, it's Shannon with True Crime with Shannon, and I'm back with another video. This one's a little different, but just bear with me. If you guys have followed the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, this one's for you. But before we get into the video, do me a quick favor. If you'd hit the thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. I'm looking to get my subscribers up, and you guys are also up, and I totally appreciate you guys, every single one of you guys. Okay, so yesterday, the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard defamation trial came to a conclusion, and the jury found that Johnny Depp won his defamation against Amber Heard, his ex-wife, and gave her one win on her counterclaim. He has been awarded, per the jury, 15 mil, and she was awarded 2 mil. But according to Virginia state law, he's only allowed to get $10.4 million. So she basically made a full, complete loss. I guess some folks are saying it's a tie, but it's not a tie, guys. She lost. She just totally, she lost. Apparently, her attorney, Elaine Bredhoft, decided to do a little press tour today with some of the morning shows and that sort of thing. And she went on the Today Show. That was the first one that I saw this morning. And that's what got me into wanting to make this video, guys, because I don't know.
Attorney Elaine Bredhoft, good morning to you. It's good to see you. First question, how is Amber doing? We saw her hearing that verdict. It took a long time to read. It was a sweeping verdict for Johnny Depp. How did she handle it?
You know, one of the first things she said is, I am so sorry to all those women out there. This is a setback for all women in and outside the courtroom. And she feels the burden of that.
Well, knowing the case and knowing the law, as you certainly do, frankly, it favors defendants like Amber Heard. Are you stunned that the jury essentially rejected her story?
Well, you know, really what happened here is it's a tale of two trials. Johnny Depp brought a suit in the UK for the same case, and the burden of proof was easier for him there. The son had to actually prove that it was true, and the court found there, and we weren't allowed to tell the jury this, but the court found that Mr. Depp had committed at least 12 acts of domestic violence, including sexual violence, against Amber. So what did Depp's team learn from this? Demonize Amber and suppress the evidence. We had an enormous amount of evidence that was suppressed in this case that was in the UK case. In the UK case, when it came in, Amber won, Mr. Depp lost.
But here's the thing. You were able to get some evidence that you say demonstrated abuse. You certainly had her testimony. There were pictures, documents, all kinds of evidence. But in point of fact, the jury rejected it. You argued in your closing arguments that if they found even one instance of abuse, and it did not even have to be physical abuse, that they would have to find for Amber Heard, and they didn't.
And the other part to bear in mind here is nothing changed. The op-ed didn't even mention Mr. Depp by name. And so what basically they did here is demonize her. And they were able to suppress the medical records, which were very, very significant because they showed a pattern going all the way back to 2012 of Amber reporting this to her therapist, for example. We had significant amount of texts, including from Mr. Depp's assistants, saying, when I told him he kicked you, he cried. He is so sorry. That didn't come in.
Is there any other way to interpret this verdict, though, that this jury, for whatever reason, and I hear you on some of the evidence that they didn't hear, listening to Amber Heard, did not believe a single word?
You know, and that's because she was demonized here. A number of things were allowed in this court that should not have been allowed, and it caused the jury to be confused. We weren't allowed to tell them about the UK judgment, so the damages is completely skewed. There are no damages. It stopped at November 2, 2020, which is when the judgment came down in the UK.
Let me ask you about social media in this case. Unlike any celebrity case, certainly I've ever covered or ever seen, social media was a part of this. And it was incredibly lopsided and vitriolic against Amber Heard. Do you think that had an effect on the case?
Absolutely.
You think jurors were aware of it? They weren't supposed to be. They're admonished every single day. don't look at it. Do you think they did see it?
How can you not? They went home every night. They have families. The families are on social media. We had a 10-day break in the middle because of the judicial conference. There's no way they couldn't have been influenced by it. And it was horrible. It really, really was lopsided. And I appreciate your saying that. It's like the Roman Colosseum, how they viewed this whole case. I was against cameras in the courtroom, and I went on record with that and had argued against it because of the sensitive nature of this. But it made it a zoo.
Does your client want to appeal?
Oh, absolutely. And she has some excellent grounds for it. We even had tried to get the UK judgment in to dismiss his case because he already had his shot. And that's one of the issues, but also a number of the evidentiary issues. There was so much evidence that did not come in.
Is she able to pay a $10.4 million judgment?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Finally, in closing arguments, Amber's team argued that this would send a message, that it would send a message that no matter what you do as an abuse victim, you always have to do more. You need to be perfect in order for people to believe you if she did not get a favorable verdict. What message do you think this sends?
It's a horrible message. It's, as I said, a setback. It's a significant setback because that's exactly what it means. Unless you pull out your phone and you video your spouse or your significant other beating you, effectively, you won't be believed.
Elaine Bredhoft, thank you very much for your time this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I don't know. She is blaming the jury for one. She's blaming the jury that they were confused and that Johnny Depp's team demonized Miss Amber Heard. And this is why she lost the case. And this is bringing back domestic violence victims and sexual abuse victims. It's knocking everything back. Okay, first of all, guys, Amber Heard is a liar. Okay, the jury saw right through that girl, just like we did. I watched most of the trial. I missed a few of the first witnesses from Johnny's side, but I started watching when Johnny Depp hit the stand. And let me tell you what, Johnny Depp told his story. He did not hide his bad parts of his life. He told us all about his drinking, his cocaine, and all his drugs, all his bad stuff. He just put it on the table because you know what? He just wanted to restart his life and get everything back. Okay? She comes up there. Not one thing can she admit that she did wrong. Not one. Nothing. Then she goes up and talks about, oh, my dog stepped on a bee. That just the woman's just bonkers. Our attorney there, she decided to do a little presser tour this morning, and most of her chat, most of her stuff with everybody is the same old rigmarole. So she's kind of repeating everything. We have a couple, couple shows that you had a co-host that kind of made some points, but she would kind of get right back on her script. So again, she's saying that Johnny Depp's team demonized her and her client and made Amber look bad, and that Johnny had a chance to sue her once in the UK, and it was his one chance. And this, he had one chance, and this was over with. Okay, first of all, Elaine, that trial in the UK, that was not about Johnny versus Amber Heard, his ex-wife. That was about Johnny versus the son. Miss Amber Heard was one of their witnesses. That's what that trial was about. This was Johnny's first chance to get back at his ex-wife and prove himself that he is not a domestic violence or sexual abuser that she was claiming he was. So no, this was not his second try. This was his first. Now, you're saying that she was demonized, and there's all these evidence that you guys had, that everything that happened, there's medical evidence, and her psychiatrist has it. She may have told her psychiatrist, which we may or may not know how much of that's fact and how much of it she decided to create in her little head there, but not once does she have any evidence from being in a hospital. She never went to the ER. She never went to a walk-in clinic. She never went to an actual doctor to prove that she was beaten up at all. Or at the worst, when she's alleging that Johnny sexually assaulted her with that bottle, she claimed that she was horribly hurt and she was bleeding all over the place. And she's like, oh, I'm okay. I just cleaned myself up in the bathroom. And then, and I went to bed. And I took a pill and went to bed. Honey, if you are legitimately assaulted down there, you're just not going to take a sleeping pill and go to bed. Honey, you need to have medical attention. She doesn't have any proof of any medical attention. And as far as those bruise photos, she sort of slipped on the stand there. She said, my bruise kit. Oh, oops. I mean, the makeup I use to cover up the bruises. Amber, We see all through it. We saw exactly all through your lies, your deceptions, and you just couldn't even figure out what your other lie said. You just added to it. It was just like the boy who cried wolf. That's exactly what Amber Heard is. The sad, sad thing, if you guys want to feel like anything about this, is Amber is putting back all those real domestic violence and sexual assault victims. Those are the ones that should be upset. I've heard of a number of people that I know online who are highly upset with Amber Heard because she lied and they said there's no way that she was assaulted. They said her lies are bringing their truth, their actual domestic violence claims. That's what's putting at risk. And then there's also a veteran from our wars, our armed forces. He came out and said, "Wow, you know what? I've been in actual war, and my best friend died right next to me. And you know what? Amber Heard's PTSD score is higher from living and dealing with Johnny Depp than mine is for being in war and killing people and having my best friend die next to me. Wow." I don't know, guys. It was just a bunch of malarkey. It's all garbage. Okay. And the fact is, Elaine, your client is a liar. She's got mental issues. Okay. Nope. Now, when you stand the part where the jurors may have heard some stuff when they went home for those 10 days, even though they weren't supposed to go on social media and talk to people, I got to tell you, that probably happened. I mean, it's like you said, I do agree with you on that one point. It's very difficult to keep them, sequestered because they were not sequestered in a hotel or anything. Every night they went home and then they had that long 10 days. So we don't know who watched what. Heck, your client, from what we could tell, was on social media. But the bottom line is, they saw right through her. She was staring them down in the jury stand. And I know folks that were in there, online, a number of YouTube creators who said that the jurors multiple times were turning their chairs away from her. They were highly uncomfortable with her staring at them every time she answered. Oh, yeah, oh, and she would stare at them. Who wants her to keep staring at them all day? It was just creepy, okay? She's a creepy person, and I honestly do believe what Dr. Curry says. She does have personality issues, okay? I'm no expert in that, but I really do hope that she gets some real help. She needs to get some real help. And her ideas of potentially appealing, they're just not going to happen. It's just, she doesn't have even the $10 million to pay her ex husband, Johnny. She's got nothing at this point. She had this mystery person, which I heard is not Elon Musk. Um, so paying her attorney bills because she has no money. She didn't even have any money to pay off the ACLU and the children's hospitals, which is really sad for the children's hospitals. I mean, that's just pathetic. It really is. You can't just pledge to pay them, honey. You have to give them your donation. Pledge and donation are not synonymous. Okay, I can't go pledge to pay my rent or to go pay this, my electric bill. I can't pledge that. They're going to be like, ha, yeah, where's the money, honey? So the bottom line is she she's got some serious problems. And up till this morning, and when Elaine went on her little presser, I kind of felt sorry for Elaine and even Rottenborn and some of her team. But seeing her go out there and defend Amber in that way and say the jury was confused and there's all this evidence that got tossed out and they're blaming, this, that, and the other thing, man, she's almost sounding like she's just as bad as her client. Honey, just get off of it, okay? Go live your life. Go do what you have to do. And Amber, please go get help, honey. Go get some serious help. At this point, we just all want you to go away, go live your little life. You're going to be blacklisted probably from Hollywood, which honestly, that's your own doing. The bottom line is the jury believed that you wrote the op-ed about Johnny. They believe that you defamed him, and they gave the verdict to Johnny. So at this point, let it go. You've got nothing left. I know you don't. So just go and take care of yourself. Take care of your baby. I really do hope you guys are okay. As far as, I don't wish her any harm. I really don't. I mean, I just want her to disappear at this point. That would be her best bet, is to just kind of like fade out into oblivion. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Does that just drive you crazy that, her attorney, Elaine, obviously she's the only one that I've seen spoken out so far. That doesn't mean the other ones won't. But what do you guys think? Does that kind of like make you go, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me? Or do you even not care at this point? So let me know what you think about the decision, about the trial, about the Miss Elaine going out there and trying to get the sympathy votes and put all the DV victims and all that sort of stuff and say, oh, it's all his fault and it's not her fault. I just feel like it's just a horrible backpedaling, and it's just awful. At this point, I think that she just needs to let it go. All right, so that's today's video. Like I said, it was a little different than my other videos, so more of a little rant. So I just kind of wanted to get that out there and yeah, see what you guys think. In the meanwhile, I want to thank you again for checking out the channel, and I'm going to put some fellow YouTubers that I would love for you guys to check out that did some amazing, amazing coverage from the case that I watched a number of, and some have some great, great videos. I'm going to post that in the description of the video here. In the meanwhile, hit that like button if you like the content, and hit subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it.